Return to lobby. We fucking lost, man. Oh my god.
Cells. I don't control any of that stuff. I have to learn to love that part of it. I have to learn to love sitting down and writing. I have to learn that success is doing that that's my job, that's the part to appreciate. As Mark Lewis says in meditation, it's insane to tie your well-being to things outside your control, to let other people say whether you succeeded. He says, happiness and tranquility is tying your success to what's in your control, to the reaching of your standards, to the effort that you put in, to what you learn, what you take out of the process. That's what we have to focus on. Focus on the process in 2026. Focus on what's up to you in 2026, not what other people say about you, not the results that come in the year ahead. 22, take a book with you everywhere you go. The foundational story of Stoicism.
Magnolia 好胖。Pause for sucks, man. 哇，这个人怎么不赢啊？莫名其妙的啊！不管了，不确定我们会不会赢。Number one hindrance
is Zeno learning from the Oracle of Delphi that the secret to wisdom is to have conversations.
你玩什么
That's
游
what reading is.
戏？
It's a superpower. It's a chance to talk to people who aren't here anymore. I'm talking to you about Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Epictetus, some of the wisest people who ever lived, as if they're still with us. Because they are still with me. I carry them with me everywhere. I engage with them on a daily basis. The year ahead is going to be rough. It's going to throw a lot at you. You want to annex the wisdom from the past into your own life. That's what Seneca said the study of philosophy allows you to do. Read less news in the year ahead. Focus less on what's happening in any given moment and talk to the dead instead. Talk to the wise people who've been through stuff like this before and learn what they have to teach us. 23, say no a lot this year. I think this is one of the hardest things to do in life, to say no to invitations, to requests, to obligations, to the stuff everyone else is doing, to say no to money. The problem is we don't understand that when we're saying yes, we are in fact saying no. We're saying no to ourselves. We're saying no to our family. We're saying no to our work. We're saying no to our health. We're saying no to what we should actually be doing. For some reason, it's harder to be rude to this person who sends you an email asking you to do them a huge favor than it is to be rude to your 7-year-old who wants to play, who wonders why you're not home when you're usually home. Say no this year. Say no to the things that are inessential, as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, so you can say yes to the things that are essential. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain. Don't be rude on purpose. Don't be a jerk. But if it's not essential, if it's not important, if you know it's not what really moves the needle, what you really need to be doing this year, say no to it. And that's going to mean saying no a lot. Number 24, ask for help. One of the big misconceptions about Stoicism is that it's about creating invincible, untouchable, invulnerable superheroes. You are not an island. You are not in this alone. You are not capable of doing this alone. One of the most beautiful passages from Marcus Aurelius has him saying that we are like soldiers storming a wall. He says, if you've fallen and you have to ask a comrade for help, so what? Right? He's saying, so what? Because that's actually the job of a soldier. They are meant for each other. They are meant to help each other. When your friends ask you for help, when they come to you with something they're struggling with or thinking about or whatever it is, you're never like, get the fuck out of here. No, you're like, thank you. It means something to you. And then for some reason, we're reluctant to do that ourselves. Ask for help this year. It will make you better. It will connect you more to others. It will make you capable of doing what you need to do this year. Number 25, stop comparing yourselves to others. We are running our own race here. You don't know other people's races. You don't know when they started. You don't know how far they're going. You don't even know if they're telling the truth, right? Most people are lying about their success. You think Instagram influencers actually live like these photos look? Of course not. And yet here we are, like being envious and insecure, asking ourselves, well, why am I not doing that? Are they doing better than me? Do you think it's good for business, for competitors to talk about how much trouble they're having? No, everyone is lying. Everyone is pretending. Everyone is painting a false picture. Seneca said the key to a good life is to have a sense of the path that you're on. And he said to not be distracted by the paths that crisscross yours. And this is the important part. He said, especially from the footsteps of those who are helplessly lost. Know where you're going, know the race you're running, run that race, ignore everything else around you. And number 26, this might seem a little morbid, but it is essential. Think about death every day. The Stoic exercise here is memento mori, right? Remember, you are mortal. You are not going to live forever. You do not have unlimited time. You don't control when or how you go. This isn't supposed to be depressing. It is a tool to create priority and meaning. You could leave life right now, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations. Let that determine what you do and say and think. And this has been a tool for generations. Philosophers use it to create perspective and urgency and priority and clarity. When you think about your life coming to a close, it tells you what's essential and what isn't. It turns down the volume on so much stuff. So do this practice. And understand, as Seneca says, that death isn't this thing that's going to come at us once. But in fact, we are dying every day. We are dying every minute. A year has just come to a close. You'll never get that year back. It is gone forever. We are dying every day. We are dying every minute. So we should live accordingly. And that's what this practice of memento mori reminds us to do. Life is short. We don't know how long we have. Let's live accordingly. I don't think I'm being politically correct or woke when I say that a lot of the Stoics were very privileged. Marcus Aurelius is emperor, he's born to this great family. Seneca is the second richest man in Rome. Then look, most of them were basically rich old dudes. But Epictetus is different. Epictetus is born a slave. In fact, that's what his name means. So I think Epictetus has the most to teach us because he's not talking about these things in the abstract. He's not talking about them from some beautiful castle, although he does go to work every day in the emperor's palace, but he does it as a lowly slave. So he sees Rome from this different perspective. There's so much that Epictetus can teach us, and that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. So here are some wonderful ideas and insights from the one and only Epictetus. It's not things that upset us, Epictetus reminds us. It's our opinion about things. The event is objective. It just is. The other person just is. What they're doing just is. The market doesn't care about you. Traffic doesn't care about you. None of these things are trying to upset you. None of these things know you exist at all. It's not the thing that upsets us. It's not the thing that's the problem. It's our opinion about that thing. It's the telling ourselves that it's unfair, that it sucks. It's somebody else's fault, that we'll never recover from it, right? That we've been injured by it, the Stoics would say. When we choose not to feel harmed by something, when we choose not to tell ourselves that something has ruined us, then we haven't been harmed. It's not the thing that upsets us. It's our opinion about that thing. When stuff goes sideways in life, when it goes not the way that you want it to go, when you're dealing with difficult stuff, you should say to yourself, as Epictetus did, life is pairing me with a strong sparring partner. He says, how else are you going to become Olympic class material? How else are you going to get better? The whole point if you're training in sports is to find really good competitors, really good trainers, to subject you to difficult, tough situations, because you become better and stronger from that, right? That's also weightlifting. The resistance, the fact that it's hard is what makes you better. And so that's what we say to ourselves about the difficult situations in life, the difficult people in life. Life is pairing me with a strong sparring partner, and that's how I become world class. It comes down to this idea that there's some stuff that's up to us and some stuff that's not. And I know that sounds really, really simple, but Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said that was our chief task in life. The main job of philosophers, he said, was to separate things into two categories. The things we have control over, things that are up to us, things we don't have control over, the things that are not up to us. And the undeniable reality is that most people spend most of their time focused on things that are not in their control. That's what gets them upset. That's what they're striving for. That's what they're fighting about. Things that are not in their control. And this is what causes them misery. This is what causes them frustration. This is what causes them fear and anxiety. So that's it. Your chief task in life is to focus on the things that are inside your control. When you're running, it happens all the time. Somebody passes you, or you pass someone, and then they start speeding up. One of the things you realize, or you have to realize, is that the race you're running is not against other people. The race you're running is against yourself. Epictetus said, enter races where winning is up to you. If you're racing against yourself, if you're racing against your own potential, if you're staying on the course that you are on, then you will always win. And it doesn't matter what other people are doing, you focus on what you are doing. It's not impressive that you can read difficult books, that you know all this fancy literature. There was a Stoic student who was bragging to Epictetus that he'd read all the works of Chrysippus. And Epictetus looked at him and he said, you know, if Chrysippus was a better writer, you'd have less to be proud about. Philosophy isn't supposed to be complicated. It's not supposed to be pretentious. It's supposed to be simple and straightforward. And it's supposed to be something that you apply to your life. As a result of his time in slavery, Epictetus is crippled. We're told that his sadistic master breaks his leg, or is trying to inflict pain on Epictetus. Epictetus is so tough that he doesn't resist, he allows it to happen, and then he tells his master, how did you think that was going to go? He bears the scar of this torture for the rest of his life. That's something he's not free of. He's never free to walk and carry himself the same way again. But he would say that we have to remember that lameness, or being crippled, is an impediment to the body, not to the mind. So the Stoics wanted us to understand that a tyrant, a cruel master, a drunk driver, whatever, someone could do something.
That Blissey sucks, man. Can't even heal us.
Something that could be taken away from us. But how we see ourselves, the story we tell ourselves about our life, our decision to be negatively impacted, disabled by this, that's the choice that we have. You don't get rich acquiring things, acquiring money. Epictetus says it's not about having many things, it's about having few wants. If you have everything you need, then you are very rich. Would it also be nice to pair that with having a lot of money? Sure. But you could also have very little and feel like enough, feel good. Get to a place where you feel like you have enough, then you are rich. When you pare your wants down, when you don't need anything from anyone or anything outside your control, that, to the Stoics, is true wealth. You're not being harmed, you're not being screwed over, you're not being challenged, you're being, Epictetus said, paired with a strong sparring partner. Life is helping you. Life is making you better. Life is teaching you. Life is making you stronger. You want to wrestle with this. You pick hard sparring partners. You pick people who you get better for wrestling with. We live in a world of conformity, and as a result, we also live in a world of competition. Everyone's trying to do the same things. Everyone thinks they're fighting for a certain amount of spot.
Damn, this team, man. 这个 team 不会很好。
This creates a sort of a zero-sum competition, and also creates a sense that we're losing out, that we're being deprived of something. But Epictetus talks a lot about running your own race. He says you'll always win if you only enter competitions where winning is up to you. Basically what he's saying is stop trying to have more than someone else or be a little better than someone else at something. Try to be the best version of yourself. Also by this, he meant that he wasn't afraid to stand out. He wasn't afraid to be different or distinct. In a time like living under Nero where this would have been a dangerous thing to do, but the freedom to be himself was the freedom that Epictetus seized on, as we must also seize on. You're paying too close of attention. Epictetus says if you want to improve, you have to be content to be seen as ignorant or foolish in some matters. He was saying that if you're on top of everything, if you know the latest gossip, all the breaking news, what you're doing is not paying attention to the important things. What you're not doing is working on yourself. You have to be willing to say, I don't know about that, I didn't hear about that. If you're following everything, you're really following nothing. I've had my 8 Sleep pod, I don't even know how long I've had 8 Sleep now. It's at least 2 or 3 years. We had it when it first came out, we've upgraded a bunch of times now, and now I've got the 8 Sleep pod 5. It's absolutely unequivocally changed my sleep habits, my wife's sleep habits. Tracks my sleep, it cools the bed, it heats the bed, it even raises it up and down. It's just significantly improved my life. And look, the Pod 5 is the newest generation of 8 Sleep's signature products. It's a smart mattress cover you put on top of your existing mattress. The result, they say, is up to 1 full hour of additional quality sleep per night. And actually with the Pod 5, sleep optimization goes even further. We've got a bunch of preventative health tracking with their autopilot health check, which gives you visibility into your heartbeat, your breathing, even sudden changes in HRV. And right now you can head over to 8sleep.com/dailystoic and use code DailyStoic to get $350 off your own Pod 5 Ultra. And you still get 30 days to try it at home and return it if you don't like it. But I think you will love it and your body will thank you for this investment in better sleep. Shipping to many countries worldwide.
Lolan right here.
You can see details at 8sleep.com/dailystoic.
Epictetus spends a good chunk of his life in Nero's court. He's a slave to one of Nero's powerful secretaries. In this sense, Epictetus gets lucky. On the other hand, he looks around and he goes, this is not that wonderful either. What he sees in Nero's court is all these incredibly successful, powerful people who are in some ways less free than he is. He sees this man throw himself at Nero's feet, begging, pleading, whining that he was down to basically his last $1 million. And Nero is like, oh my God, are you okay? How could you bear it? And in this moment, Epictetus, who didn't have any money, who didn't have any freedom, is hit by this notion that he might not trade places with these people if given the opportunity, because they were slaves to their ambition, to the whims of the emperor, to their, comfort level, to their entitlements. I think Epictetus is being a bit exaggerated here and speaking for effect. But his point was to look at these people who, by any definition, seem like they are free and certainly like they are their own masters. But in truth, in reality, in their day-to-day existence, they are anything but. So think about that in your own life. How free are you? Do you belong to yourself? Are you in control of your schedule day to day? Or is the next deal, the next project, right, keeping all the plates spinning what's actually in charge? So much of what we want, what we're aspiring to, what our goals are not in our control, as Epictetus would say, but in fact they're the opposite. They're handing over that control, that judgment or evaluation to other people. And so when your ambition shifts more internally towards what you control, towards what you do, to who you were while you did it, you're empowered, right? And you're more self-sufficient. John Wooden said something like, success is peace of mind, which is the direct result in knowing that you made the best effort to do your best to become the best you're capable of becoming. And obviously John Wooden cares a lot about winning, and he wins a lot. But you have this bigger, more encompassing definition of what your success is and who you're trying to be, how you judge yourself. So you could have a team that wins that you're disappointed in. You could have a team that loses that you couldn't be more proud of. I try to get to a place, and I think I am at this place with my books, where some of the books I'm most proud of have sold the fewest copies, and the books that, while proud of, I'm not changed by or puffed up by their success, right? Because I've done better since, right? I'm more focused on other things. I'm prouder of other things in other projects. So you do your work, you focus on what you can focus on, and you leave the rest to God, the gods, luck, the market, right? The whims of the universe, whatever you want to call it. You leave it there. It stares you in the face. Marcus Aurelius says, no role is so well suited to philosophy as the one you're in right now. He was the emperor of Rome, yet he was able to be philosophical, to follow virtue. On the other end of the spectrum, Epictetus was a slave. He was tortured. He didn't control his body, his life, his time. And he was a philosopher. No role, nothing excludes you from being a philosopher. You can read these books, you can think these things, you can act on these ideas, you can apply them in your life, you can follow virtue, you can achieve arete, you can acquire wisdom. That's what philosophy is. It's not high-minded, abstract ideas. It's something you apply to your actual life, to your real job, high or low, big or small. Nothing can stop you from that. As Epictetus says, if you live with a lame man, you will start to limp. You become like the things that you put in your body. You become like the things that you consume, that you read about, that you watch, that you surround yourself with. You have to think about your information diet. You have to think about the proximity effect. What are you putting in? What are you surrounding yourself with? Because that will determine who you are. So you have a troublesome brother or an annoying coworker. You have some situation that's driving you nuts. It's costing you something. It's depriving you of options or opportunities that, if you had your choice, would be yours. That is something that's taking freedom away from you. Epictetus said, okay, that's one way to look at it. He says, we have another way to look at it. In fact, he says, every situation has two handles. You can try to pick it up by this handle that says, like, here's the freedom I'm losing, here's what this is taken from me, here's why I don't like this, like the negative opinion. He says, or you can try to grab it by this other handle. He says, you could think about that you're related to this brother, that you come from the same mother, that you love them, that you want things to be better. He's saying that we choose which handle we're going to grab on a situation. We choose whether we're going to see this thing as positive or negative. We're going to focus on the obstacle or the opportunity.
It's kind of a strange analogy, but Epictetus said that a philosopher is like a great ball player. And he said that Socrates actually is the greatest ball player there ever was. What he was saying is that a ball player doesn't label a throw good or bad, they just have to catch it. If it's a catchable ball, they have to catch it, and then they have to throw it back. He said that's what we have to do in life also. And he said Socrates was great because he dealt with a bad marriage, he dealt with war, he dealt with the fascism of his time, but his life would throw these things at him, he would catch them, right, and throw it back. That he gave as good as he got. And that's what we're trying to do as philosophers. That's what we're training for. That's how we're trying to live. Life throws balls at us, and we have to catch them, and then we have to throw them back. Doesn't matter if they're good throws or bad throws. That's what got thrown to us. We catch it and we throw it back.
You're not strong unless you can do something with that strength. You're not smart unless you can do something with that intelligence. Epictetus said if someone was bragging about lifting weights and all the workouts they were doing, you wouldn't say, show me your shoulders. You would say, show me what you can lift, show me what you can pick up. So ultimately, the learning we do, the work we do, the training we do, it's got to be about the practical application. It's got to be what you're able to do with it. I've talked to a number of big people in Hollywood over the years. One of the things that like people watching TV or movies don't necessarily understand, when something's like bad or not good, they'll blame like an actor or they'll blame a specific director, and they don't realize like it's this collaborative art, and as a result, no one person is really like in control. So you might think that this A-lister or this big director or this producer has like so much control, but actually every single person is dependent on all these other people. It's a lot like life, which is why the Stoics use the metaphor of being an actor in a play. Epictetus said, look, the director is deciding, the playwright is deciding. The actor, like an athlete, doesn't control what the person opposing them in the scene does, if they're talented or not. They don't control the director's vision. They don't control the words written on the page by the person who created this bit of intellectual property. So if the actor is only going to be happy if the thing is a success, if everyone loves it, if it's well received, well, they don't have freedom, because now all these other people and factors determine whether that thing was a success or not, whether they feel good or not about it. The best actors, Epictetus understood, and this was as true back in ancient Rome and Greece as it is today, the best actors have to focus on their role and acting the hell out of that role. It's the only part of it that they control. And so there is a certain amount of acceptance, a scaling down of our purview of what we're worried about, but it also allows us to really embrace and do that thing well and succeed whether or not any of the other things go our way, because sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. How do you know if you're doing it right? How do you know if you're getting this Stoicism thing right? Well, Epictetus said it should be demonstrated with a single phrase. He said you should be able to say, no matter what happens to you in life, big situations, little situations, things you wanted, things you didn't want, totally unexpected things, things that other people are freaking out about, Epictetus says you should be able to look at it and say, this is what I trained for. The whole point of Stoic philosophy, the sign that it's making its way through your system, it's changing you, is that you should be able to look at things, again, that other people don't like, other people don't understand, that you yourself would have been freaked out about before, and say to yourself, this is what I trained for. I'm going to focus on what I control here. I'm going to focus on how I'm going to respond, and I'm going to respond well, and I'm going to respond, as the Stoics would say, with virtue and excellence. Epictetus would ask, how much longer are you going to wait to demand the best for yourself? Marcus Aurelius says, like, you could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow. We put stuff off. This is the resistance. Stephen Pressfield, the great writer, says it's not that we say, I'm never going to write my symphony, I'm never going to go out for that, I'm never going to put myself out there. We say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. We wait, we put it off. And the Stoics say you can't do it, you got to do it now. Seneca says all fools have this one thing in common, they're always beginning to live, they're getting ready to live. They're not doing it now, they put it off. You can't put it off. Procrastination is the enemy. It's the enemy of progress. It's the enemy of the present moment. It's the enemy of doing your best. Don't put stuff off. Don't do it later. Don't say I'm going to work out tomorrow. Don't put it off. Do it now. Acta non verba. It's a Latin expression. It means deeds
not words. So deeds are more important than words. Epictetus actually said this. He said, don't talk about your philosophy, embody it. And so Epictetus' life is really interesting because amidst slavery and oppression and adversity and difficulty, he did a really good job living up to the ideas of Stoicism. Seneca writes beautiful essays and letters and plays filled with Stoic ideas. But then his time working for Nero, his lifestyle choices, shows that he struggled to put these ideas actually into practice. There is one thing, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, powerful or powerless, healthy or unhealthy, young or old. Eventually, inevitably, we all die. It's the one prophecy that never fails. It's the great equalizer. It's the one thing that we cannot escape. But we are free to use this, to get clarity and urgency and perspective from it. Epictetus says you have to set before your eyes every day death and exile and everything else that looks terrible. He said especially death. And when you do this, you will never again have a mean thought or be too attached to anything. To give you the freedom to enjoy that moment that you're in. He's saying slow down. Don't rush through this. Don't tell yourself that you have an unlimited amount of these because you don't know that you do. So the freedom comes from embracing the moment, appreciating it, and only the perspective of our mortality can fully give us this clarity. By the way, we are doing Epictetus Month here at Daily Stoic. If you want to do a deep dive into Epictetus with us, we're going to be doing videos and articles. We've got this awesome course about him, How to Read Epictetus. You can check that out at dailystoic.com/Epictetus course. I'll link to that in the description. But he's just a remarkable guy, and I'm so glad to tell you about him. World, but we control what we do in reaction to the outside world. We control how we rise to face obstacles. We decide what we make of the opportunities that life throws at us. We don't control what happens. We control how we respond. That's Stoicism. There's an amazing story about Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, who wrote Catch-22 and Slaughterhouse-Five. They're at the party of this billionaire. And Vonnegut is teasing Heller, and he says, this billionaire whose house we're at, he made more money this week than your book will make it its entire life. And Heller says, but I have something that he doesn't have. Vonnegut says, what's that? And Heller says, I have some idea of what enough is. He says, I have enough. This idea of enough is so powerful. Seneca, who quotes Epicurus, says, if you don't regard what you have as enough, you will never be happy, even if you rule the entire world, right? Enough is never enough, the Epicureans and the Stoics say, for the person who enough is too little. And if you can get to a place of enough, what I have is good, everything else is extra, then everything you get is a bonus, and the rest of your life is amazing. But if you tell yourself you'll only be happy if I'll feel better when, you'll never get there. The finish line will move, I promise you. Enough is enough. 7 Stoic don'ts, things you must stop doing right now according to the Stoics. Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself, as Marcus Aurelius says. Don't talk more than you listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth, that's Zeno. Don't tie your identity to things you own, because those things are fragile, because those things can be taken from you at any moment. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't suffer imagined troubles, as Seneca says. It'll either happen or it won't. Don't suffer before you need to. Don't judge others. Strict with others, tolerant with yourself. That's Marcus Aurelius. Remember, you mess up too, so don't judge other people. And finally, don't overindulge in food or drink. This is the idea of temperance. It's about balance. It's about the right amount. So those are 7 Stoic don'ts stop doing right now. 3 lessons from Marcus Aurelius. Number 1, it's not what happens, it's how we respond to what happens. It says the impediment to action allows us an opportunity to move forward, to try a different action. Number 2, he says, ask yourself at every moment, is this essential? Do I really need to do this? And he says when you do less
You get the double benefit of doing less better. The third thing from Marcus Aurelius, this would be the exercise of memento mori. He said you could leave life right now, let that determine what you do and say and think. He says let every action, every decision, every thought be that of a dying person. When you think about life that way, it gives you urgency, it gives you clarity, and it lets you see what actually matters. 9 short rules for a better life. Number 1, wake up early. Attack the morning. 2, focus on effort, not results. You control the effort, you control what you put in. What comes out the other side, that's not up to you. Read every day. You should always be reading. Reading is the greatest invention there ever was. Read every day. You have to read. Strict with yourself, tolerant with others. Again, you control what you do. You control the standards you hold yourself to. But it's called self-discipline for a reason. You can't expect other people to live the same way you do. Seek out challenges. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Push yourself. That's how you get better. By lifting heavy things is how you get stronger. Challenging yourself is how you get better. Stay a student. Always stay a student. Focus on what there is left to learn, not what you've already discovered. That's how scientists, that's how geniuses, that's how creators get better, by focusing on what there is left to learn. People out of your life. Life is too short. Have good boundaries. If they're not making your life better, bye. Think about that. Memento mori, we were all born with a fatal diagnosis. To take life for granted is an incredible waste. And that's what Seneca says. It's not that life is short, it's that we waste a lot of it. And finally, and I'm repeating this one because it's so important, focus on what you control, right? You control what you do, you control what you say, you control what you think, control what you put in. Everything else, not up to you, not worth your focus. People suck. It's harsh, but it's true. I mean, Marcus Aurelius opens meditations with music on how much people suck, how they lie and cheat and steal and are motivated by silly, ridiculous things. It's true, people suck. But he also says in meditations, look, the only thing that's not worthless in this life is to do what's right, is to be good. And then he says to be patient with those who aren't, right? That's what we're doing. People do suck. People are problematic. People do present countless obstacles to us. And yet that is an opportunity to practice stoicism, to practice self-discipline, to practice fairness even in the face of unfairness. So a stoic takes reality as it is unflinchingly, and it doesn't change what they believe their obligation is in this world.
If you do anything that matters, people will have really strong opinions about you. That's just like a fact of life. If you don't like that, don't do anything. And we can imagine that people had strong opinions about Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Epictetus. Anyone that's ever put themselves out there in the realm of ideas or in the arena of life, people have criticized. You have to be able to tune that out. Marcus Aurelius says we love ourselves more than other people, yet for some reason we care about their opinions more than their own. I love I'll get criticized for my books. The person will be like, oh, he did X, Y, and Z as a criticism, but it's like, that's exactly what I was trying to do. And you realize, oh, not only is this person's opinion like not worth listening to, if you heard it properly, you'd see that they were actually complimenting you. So you have to be able to tune out what other people say and do. You have to focus on what you do. That's what the Stoics say. To develop kind of an inner scorecard where you understand what you're trying to do, how you judge or measure your success, and it can't have anything to do with critics, with doubters, with haters, with your parents, with your spouse. It has to be based on your own understanding of what you're trying to do, of who you're trying to be as a person. That's what matters, and that's what you measure yourself by. The Stoics are masters of one-liners, and I want to give you 5 of the best all-time Stoic one-liners. Number 1, from Epictetus, if you want to be beautiful, make beautiful choices. Number 2, from Seneca, we suffer more in imagination than reality. Number 3, from Marcus Aurelius, we love ourselves more than other people, but for some reason we care about their opinions more than our own. 4, from Marcus Aurelius, you always have the right to have no opinion about this. You can always think nothing about this. And finally, Zeno, you have 2 ears, but only 1 mouth for a reason. You have to stop putting stuff off, right? You just have to stop putting stuff off. Marcus Aurelius says, you could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow. Epictetus asks, how much longer are you going to wait to demand the best from yourself? Stop putting stuff off. There's this great Latin expression, just translates to, do it if you're going to do it. It's like the Nike slogan, just do it. Don't put it off. If it matters, if it's worth doing, do it now. Because the truth is, now you have for certain. You don't know that you have tomorrow. It's arrogant to think that you can get to this next year. It's arrogant to think you'll do that when you retire. Now is now. Do it now. Don't put it off. Do it now. Some things things you should stop doing according to the Stoics. Stop complaining, stop focusing on what you don't control, stop acting like you're gonna live forever, stop fearing the future, stop regretting the past because you don't control either, stop chasing fame. What good is posthumous fame? Marcus Aurelius says you'll be dead. Stop being selfish, work for the common good. And what should you start doing? You should start being your best self, following these 4 Stoic virtues: courage, justice, temperance, wisdom. You get up early. You have to get up early, even though you don't want to. Marcus Aurelius says, what were you made to stay under the covers and be warm? No, you were put on this planet to do something. Dante says, under the blankets is no way to fame. You get up early and you do something. You go for a run. You write in your journal. You sit quietly and watch the sunrise. You meditate. I don't care what you do, but a Stoic gets up early. They own the morning because owning the morning is a critical part of owning the day. These are 6 Stoic keys to smashing your anxiety, to getting rid of it, to not being controlled by it. Number 1, this is the core exercise of Stoicism. Is this in my control? We worry about things, we stress about things, just we're acting as if that matters, as if it makes a difference, as if it's having an impact, and of course it doesn't. Don't suffer imagined troubles, Seneca says. Meaning, don't borrow suffering, don't torture yourself because of what might happen in the future. Just think about this, zoom out, think about all the things you've been worried in your life, how often do those things actually happen? More often than not, your worries are worse than reality. Sometimes you beat anxiety by zooming way out, looking at the 10,000-foot view, looking at it from Plato's view, as Marcus Aurelius says. Other times it's zooming way in, looking at it up close, not being overwhelmed by the totality of it. But we always have the ability to shift our perspective. This is what the Stoics call the discipline of perception. We have to practice it all. Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations, today I escaped my anxiety. He says, wait, I discarded it. It's within me. It's a feeling inside you that you're bringing to the situation. It's your expectations, it's your worries, it's your demands, it's your fears, it's your hopes. Marcus Aurelius says, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does it actually matter? Do I need to do it? Will it make a difference? Why do I even care about this? The best way the Stoics say to beat anxiety is think about the things that you have been through before. Marcus Aurelius says, how will you meet the problems of tomorrow with the same weapons that you have today, with the same way that you've gotten through adversity before? I think that's one lesson from the pandemic. Maybe you wondered before, could you live through the kinds of things that your ancestors lived through? Well, the answer is yes, of course. Seneca says, you know what you're capable of. You don't need to be anxious. You've been through crazy shit. Maybe in some ways it improved you. You made changes. You learned things. You don't have to be anxious because you're more capable than you know. And you should know how capable you are by looking at the things you have been through before. Look at your track record. You have evidence. Some things the Stoics say you should not do, that you should never do. 1, don't be overheard complaining even to yourself. That's Marcus Aurelius. 2, don't put on airs about your self-improvement. That's Epictetus. He says don't talk about it, be about it. Don't overindulge in eating or drinking. Moderation is key. That's Musonius Rufus. And Zeno says 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. Speak at more than you listen. Don't do those things and you'll have a good life. Stoic don't. Number 1, don't waste time. Seneca says that the craziest thing is that we protect our property, we protect our money, but we waste our time, even though it's a truly non-renewable resource. Number 2, forget about revenge. You're not going to get even with someone. They're punishing themselves. Marcus Aurelius says the best revenge is to not be like that. Don't be caught off guard. Seneca says the only inexcusable thing for a leader to say is, I did not think that could happen. The art of putting that as much warm for sometimes making decisions, preparing in advance for what could happen, and having a plan for it. Final one is a reminder from Marcus Aurelius that you don't need to have an opinion about it. He says you always have the power of having no opinion. It doesn't concern you, it's not having you control.
Ruby. See if these are any good.
And then he realizes that by seeing himself as the solution to that problem, his mindset shifts. The Stoics talk about the discipline of perspective, how we see things.
Third-party Nintendo Switch. I don't know if this will work. Feel cheap. Third-party controllers. See if they work.
Person who's begging for something, who's desperate for something, that attitude shift, that perspective shift can be everything. Why did